We've all been told the same thing for decades. Eat your vegetables, they're good for you. But what if I told you that some of those healthy vegetables may actually be speeding up, aging, inflaming your joints, spiking your blood sugar, and quietly putting your heart at risk? Shocking new research is turning everything we thought we knew upside down. Because the truth is, not all vegetables are safe after 60. Some nourish and protect you. Others, they wear you down slowly, silently. And the most dangerous one, it might be sitting in your pantry right now. If you care about senior health over 60, wellness, and healthy aging, this is the kind of truth you can't afford to ignore. We're not here to scare you. We're here to empower you. Backed by science, this episode reveals 4 vegetables you must eat to live stronger, longer, and 4 you should never touch, and no matter how often you've been told they're good for you. Because once you're over 60, every bite matters. Some foods quietly fuel inflammation, drain your energy, and even increase your risk of heart failure by over 90%. Others, they help you stay sharp, mobile, and independent, adding quality years to your life. So take a moment, hit the like button, and subscribe to Live Healthy After 50, because your health is your greatest wealth. And let me ask you this, which vegetable do you eat the most these days? And are you sure it's helping you, not hurting you? Share your answer in the comments below. Now let's dive into the vegetables that heal and the ones that harm. Part 1. The 4 best vegetables for seniors. Cut 1. Kale, the superfood for eyes, brain, and heart. It's green, it's leafy, it's cheap, and yet it might be the most powerful food you're not eating enough of. Kale isn't just a trendy salad filler, it's a true ally for your body, especially after 60. Here's why kale is packed with 2 special nutrients called lutein and zeaxanthin. These are carotenoids, plant compounds that go straight to work in your eyes and brain, and they matter more than ever as we age. A major study published in Neurology found that older adults who consumed higher amounts of these nutrients had 32% slower cognitive decline. That's not a small number. That's the difference between remembering the name of your first dog or not recognizing your grandchild's face in 5 years. Kale also delivers a powerful mix of potassium, magnesium, and vitamin K. This trio supports 3 areas seniors struggle with most: heart function, bone strength, and blood vessel flexibility. Potassium helps keep your blood pressure in check. Magnesium calms your nervous system and stabilizes your heartbeat. And vitamin K, just 1 cup of kale gives you over 600% of your daily need. It protects your bones and prevents calcium buildup in your arteries, a major risk for heart attacks in older adults. I once worked with a retired teacher from Ohio, Linda, 67 years old. She thought kale was just rabbit food. But after a minor heart scare, she gave it a second chance. We added it to her weekly meals, lightly sautéed in olive oil with garlic. Within months, her energy was up, her blood pressure was down, and her checkups started showing noticeable improvements. She didn't change everything, just made kale a regular part of her plate. And it worked. If you're over 60, this isn't just about eating vegetables, it's about making the right ones, part of your daily habits for longevity. And kale delivers. Whether you sauté it, steam it, or bake it into crispy chips, it's simple to prepare and easy to enjoy. So if you're serious about senior health tips that actually make a difference, start with this. 1 food, 1 choice, 1 habit that could protect your memory, your mobility, and your independence. Kale may not look like much, but it's one of the strongest tools we have to fight aging from the inside out. Number 2, beetroot, the circulation booster. Most people see beets and think of color, but what's really powerful about beetroot isn't on the surface, it's what it does once it's inside your body. For anyone over 60, this humble root might be one of the best kept secrets to better blood flow, sharper memory, and stronger energy. Beets are rich in something called dietary nitrates. Now here's where the magic happens. Once inside your body, those nitrates get converted into nitric oxide. This isn't just another nutrient, it's a natural compound that tells your blood vessels to relax and widen. When that happens, blood moves more freely and your blood pressure drops sometimes by as much as 11 points, according to a 2019 study published in Hypertension Research. That's the kind of drop many people chase with medication. Better circulation doesn't just help your heart, it feeds your brain too. With age, many people notice their thinking slows down. Names get stuck. Decisions take longer. Beetroot helps counter that by sending more oxygen-rich blood to the areas of the brain that control memory and focus. A 2017 study from the Journals of Gerontology showed that older adults who consumed beet juice before walking had stronger blood flow to the frontal lobe, one of the first brain regions to decline with age. I remember a man named Robert from Arizona. He was 72 and used to complain about always feeling sluggish in the morning. We started simple roasted beets 3 times a week. That's it. After a few weeks, he noticed his blood pressure readings were lower. But more than that, he felt more alert, more steady on his feet, and he didn't need his afternoon nap anymore. For him, it wasn't a miracle. It was just beetroot doing what it does best. For healthy aging, this is one of those longevity secrets that flies under the radar. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Roast beets in the oven with olive oil. Add them to salads, or blend into smoothies with apple and ginger. If you prefer juice, make sure it's 100% pure, no added sugar, no preservatives. Your heart, your brain, and your energy depend on strong circulation. And beetroot helps support all three. It's not about trends. It's about taking back control of your aging process naturally, one beet at a time. 3. Okra, blood sugar's secret ally. It's not the flashiest vegetable on the shelf. And yes, its texture can take some getting used to. But when it comes to protecting your blood sugar and boosting your strength after 60, okra might just be one of the smartest foods you can add to your plate. What makes okra so powerful is something most people overlook: mucilage. That's the gel-like fiber you notice when okra is cooked. But inside your body, it works like a filter. It slows the absorption of sugar in your gut. That means your blood sugar doesn't spike after meals. It rises gently, giving your body time to manage it properly. A 2021 study in Food Science and Nutrition showed that adults who ate okra daily for 8 weeks had a 20% drop in fasting blood sugar. That kind of result is usually seen with medication. But the benefits don't stop there. Okra is packed with antioxidants like quercetin and flavonoids, natural compounds that fight oxidative stress in the brain. That means sharper focus, less brain fog, and better memory over time. For older adults, especially those who notice more mental fatigue than they used to, this vegetable supports long-term clarity and confidence. It also gives a strong lift to your bones. Okra contains vitamin K, essential for proper calcium use in the body. Without enough vitamin K, bones become brittle and the risk of fractures increases. It also helps your blood clot normally, so small injuries don't turn into big problems. And with a solid dose of folate, okra supports red blood cell production and energy metabolism, key parts of staying active and independent after 60. I once met a woman in her 60s, June from Oregon, who was frustrated with rising blood sugar levels despite eating healthy. She added okra to her diet just twice a week. Steamed one day, roasted another. In 2 months, her morning numbers dropped. But more than that, she said she felt lighter, more clear-headed, more in control. And for the first time in years, her doctor didn't talk about medication, just maintenance. If you're following any kind of senior nutrition guide, okra deserves a place on it. And if you're looking for doctor tips for older adults that actually work, start here. Steam it, roast it, add it to soups or stews. The taste is mild and the benefits are serious. Okra isn't a magic cure, but it is a tool, a simple, affordable, and science-backed tool to help you balance blood sugar, support brain health, and stay strong as you age. And it just might be the ally your body's been waiting for. Omarimer Fofor, purple cabbage, the anti-inflammation shield. It's bold, it's colorful, and it's doing more for your body than you might think. Purple cabbage isn't just a side dish, it's one of the most underrated tools for protecting your heart, calming inflammation, and supporting gut health, especially for those over 60. The secret lies in its color. That deep purple hue comes from a group of powerful compounds called anthocyanins. These natural antioxidants sweep through your bloodstream, neutralizing the unstable molecules that damage cells and speed up aging. In a 2020 study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older adults who regularly consumed anthocyanin-rich vegetables, like purple cabbage, had a 24% lower risk of heart disease. That's not a theory, it's a measurable result. But purple cabbage doesn't stop at the heart. It's also a gut health champion. With age, digestion tends to slow down. You may feel more bloated, more sluggish after meals, or struggle with regularity. Purple cabbage delivers both fiber and prebiotics, the nutrients that feed your good gut bacteria. A healthy gut leads to better immunity, less inflammation, and more efficient absorption of the vitamins and minerals your body needs to stay strong. I knew a man in his 70s from North Carolina, James, who struggled with joint pain and bloating for years. He made one simple change, added raw purple cabbage to his lunch every day, a small handful in a slaw with vinegar and olive oil. Within weeks, his digestion improved. His knees felt less stiff in the morning. He said it was like oiling up a rusty hinge, his body just moved better. If you care about natural health for seniors and want to prevent aging diseases, this vegetable should be on your plate every week. But don't overcook it. When you boil or oversteam purple cabbage, the anthocyanins break down. Keep it raw in salads, toss it into wraps, or lightly stir-fry it with garlic and turmeric for even more anti-inflammatory power. It's easy to find. It stores well, it's affordable, but most importantly, it works. Purple cabbage is proof that simple foods, when chosen wisely, can be powerful allies in the fight against aging. One forkful at a time. Part 2, the 4 worst vegetables for seniors. Number 1, canned tomatoes. Hormone and heart risk in a can. They're cheap, they're convenient, they're in almost every pantry, but for adults, over 60 canned tomatoes could be doing more harm than good right under your nose. The problem isn't just the tomatoes, it's what's inside the can. Most canned foods are lined with a chemical coating called BPA, or bisphenol A. This chemical is used to prevent rust and extend shelf life. But when acidic foods like tomatoes come into contact with that lining, BPA starts to break down and leach into the food itself. And that's where the real danger begins. BPA is what researchers call an endocrine disruptor. It mimics hormones in your body and throws off your natural balance. Estrogen, testosterone, even thyroid function. For older adults whose hormone levels are already shifting, BPA exposure can trigger weight gain, fatigue, mood swings, and irregular heartbeat. One large 2020 study published in Environmental Research found that adults with the highest levels of BPA in their bloodstream had a 91% higher risk of heart disease compared to those with the lowest levels. That's nearly double the risk just from repeated exposure to something you can't even see. And if that weren't enough, canned tomatoes are usually packed with sodium. Just 1 cup of canned tomato sauce can contain over 500 milligrams of salt. That's a quarter of your daily limit in 1 scoop. For anyone with high blood pressure, that's a recipe for disaster. There's a man I know, a retired firefighter from Illinois. He thought he was doing everything right, eating light, cooking at home, using tomatoes for his pasta and stews, but his blood pressure wouldn't budge. When he switched from canned tomatoes to homemade sauce using fresh ones, his numbers dropped. It wasn't the salt shaker, it was the can. If you're looking for doctor tips for older adults that actually make a difference, this one is simple and effective. Swap canned tomatoes for glass-jarred sauces or make your own with fresh tomatoes. Roasted with garlic and olive oil, they taste better and protect your heart. This is one of those longevity secrets that sounds too small to matter, but it does. Because after 60, your liver works slower, your hormones shift, your blood pressure climbs, and what used to be harmless becomes risky. Don't let a medal can quietly undo your efforts to stay healthy. Choose fresh. Choose glass. Choose to protect your heart, your hormones, and your health. For 2, eggplant, the hidden joint aggravator. It looks healthy. It's low in calories. It even shows up in dishes that claim to be heart-friendly. But for older adults, eggplant can be a sneaky trigger for inflammation, pain, and serious discomfort, especially if you're already dealing with joint stiffness or kidney issues. Eggplant belongs to a group of vegetables called nightshades. These plants naturally contain compounds called alkaloids, which are part of their defense system. While harmless to most young, healthy people, they can become a problem for older adults, especially those with arthritis, muscle pain, or nerve sensitivity. Alkaloids like solanine and nasunin have been shown to increase inflammation and interfere with how nerves communicate in the body. For someone already managing aches and fatigue, this can make everyday movement feel heavier. That's not all. Eggplant also contains oxalates, another compound that can quietly cause harm. Oxalates bind with calcium in your kidneys and over time can form stones. Painful stones. After 60, when your kidneys don't filter as efficiently, that risk increases. A 2019 study in Neurology Annals found that seniors with high oxalate diets were more likely to develop kidney stones, especially when hydration was low or digestion was sluggish. I remember a man in his late 60s, Paul, a retired bus driver from Nevada. He loved grilled eggplant, ate it almost every weekend, but he was also struggling with arthritis in his hands and recurring kidney issues. When we removed eggplant from his meals for just a month, the swelling in his knuckles improved. He didn't need pain medication as often. His urologist even noticed fewer signs of stone formation in his labs. It wasn't a dramatic change, just one trigger removed. Many seniors assume vegetables are always safe. But part of over 60 wellness is learning which ones your body can no longer process the same way. Eggplant, when fried or grilled, becomes especially risky. It soaks up oil, adds extra calories, and combines with heat to become more inflammatory. Even when baked or roasted, it can still be tough to digest, especially with the skin on. If you still want to enjoy it once in a while, remove the skin, slice it thin, and soak it in salted water before cooking. That can reduce some of the bitter compounds. But for those with arthritis, digestive issues, or kidney concerns, there are safer choices with fewer downsides. This is one of those senior health tips that doesn't get enough attention. Eggplant may look innocent on the plate, but if you're over 60, it could be doing more damage than you think, quietly fueling the very problems you're trying to fight. Omega-3 white potatoes. Comfort food that damages. They're familiar, filling, affordable, and for many of us, they've been on the plate since childhood. But if you're over 60, white potatoes may be doing more harm than comfort, especially when it comes to your blood sugar, energy, and long-term health. Here's the issue. White potatoes rank high on the glycemic index. That means they spike your blood sugar fast, even faster than some sugary cereals. When your blood sugar surges, your body releases a flood of insulin to bring it down. Over time, this roller coaster creates insulin resistance, stores more belly fat, and leaves you feeling sluggish or wiped out after meals. And how they're cooked matters even more. Fried potatoes like French fries or chips create a compound called acrylamide during high heat cooking. Acrylamide is toxic. It's been linked to inflammation in the arteries and even cellular damage. On the flip side, boiled potatoes might seem harmless, but they still cause a sharp glucose spike, especially if you're not eating them with fiber, protein, or fat to slow it down. There's a retired nurse from Georgia. I once worked with Marilyn in her early 70s. She loved her mashed potatoes and had them almost every night, but she kept gaining weight around her waist and felt exhausted by mid-afternoon. Once we swapped those out for roasted sweet potatoes just a few nights a week, her energy leveled out, her blood sugar stabilized, and she even dropped a few pounds without changing anything else. For those who care about natural health for seniors, this is a quiet turning point. White potatoes aren't evil, but they're not as harmless as they seem, especially not when they're fried in oil loaded with salt or drowned in cheese and butter. Want a better choice? Go for roasted sweet potatoes. They're lower on the glycemic index, higher in fiber, and packed with antioxidants like beta-carotene, which supports eye health and immune function. Add a little olive oil, cinnamon, or turmeric, and you've got a side dish that's just as comforting, but much better for your body. This is aging gracefully advice that doesn't require willpower, just a smarter swap. You're not giving up a favorite, you're upgrading it. Because after 60, the foods we grew up with don't always age with us. And now is the time to choose the ones that help us stay sharp, strong, and steady for the years ahead. Number 4, corn, the blood sugar saboteur. It shows up on dinner tables across the country. Grilled on the cob, mixed into casseroles, hidden in soups. Corn is one of the most common vegetables in the American diet. But for older adults, it may be quietly throwing off your blood sugar and putting your long-term health at risk. The problem is its high glycemic index. That means corn causes your blood sugar to spike quickly after eating, and that sudden rise forces your body to pump out extra insulin. Over time, these repeated spikes wear down your insulin sensitivity. Your body stops responding the way it used to. That's how many people over 60 slip into prediabetes without realizing it. In fact, a 2020 study published in Diabetes Care found that adults who regularly consumed high glycemic vegetables like corn had a 46% higher risk of insulin resistance, a major red flag for heart disease, fatigue, and belly fat. There's a retired librarian I met once, Helen, 68 years old. She believed corn was a healthy staple. Canned, frozen, grilled, she used it often. But she was also noticing that her blood sugar was creeping up despite cutting back on desserts. When she replaced corn with roasted cauliflower and sautéed zucchini, her next lab results showed a clear improvement. Her fasting glucose dropped. Her energy felt steadier. And she said for the first time in years, she didn't crash after lunch. If you're serious about senior health and want to prevent aging diseases, corn needs to be eaten with caution. It's not just about how sweet it tastes, it's about how your body processes it. And that gets harder with age. Creamed corn, sweet corn, and canned varieties are especially risky. They often contain added sugars and sodium, which amplify the blood sugar response even more. And if you're pairing corn with white bread potatoes or sugary sauces, the spike gets even sharper. There's a better way. Instead of corn, try cauliflower or zucchini. These vegetables are low on the glycemic index, full of fiber, and packed with nutrients that support stable energy and healthy digestion. You can roast them, mash them, spiralize them into noodles, or add them to stews for bulk without the blood sugar burden. Corn isn't poison, but for anyone over 60, it's a blood sugar saboteur hiding in plain sight. It's familiar, it's comfortable, but that doesn't mean it's safe. Making the switch today could be a small step that leads to steadier energy, a healthier heart, and a better future. Not all vegetables are created equal. Some quietly chip away at your health, while others stand guard protecting your heart, your brain, and your independence. And after 60, every bite truly matters more than ever. This isn't about cutting out your favorites or living in fear. It's about making wiser choices, about knowing which foods fuel your strength and which ones quietly steal it. You don't have to sacrifice flavor to eat smart. You just need the right knowledge, the kind that helps you feel more energetic, more stable, and more in control of your future. That's what living healthy after 50 is all about. So tell me, which vegetable surprised you the most today? Was it something you've eaten for years without realizing the impact? Share in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this episode gave you a new perspective, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss the latest longevity tips and daily habits for senior health. Because your health is your greatest wealth, and you deserve to age gracefully with power and purpose.